So in their latest bid to take over the world, the KZ reptilian overlords are using this as their latest weapon. This is the ZST X, and that's what I'm looking at in this video. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews, and here is the ZST X. Now, people who own the previous or the original ZST X will notice right away that the shell is largely unchanged, except for the color. It's available in 3 colors, I believe, but this is the cyan one, if I remember correctly. Pretty solid build. There's not a lot to say about it. Pseudo custom style shape, as all of these budget earphones are. It has the 2-pin connector. It has a vent on the inner shell there, and plastic nozzles this time around, not aluminium, but you do have the metal mesh covering the nozzle there. So that's about all there is to say about the physical build of the ZST X. I think it's a nice looking IEM, and in terms of comfort, it is also really good in that way as well. If you ever tried the original model, the original version, yeah, well, basically the shells are exactly the same dimension wise and shape wise, and I think for most people they should have a pretty good fit with them. Right, now let's have a look at this cable here, and as you can see, the KZ Masters decided to bestow upon us the silver plated cable this time and not the standard KZ brown, which I'm quite pleased about. Not only because I prefer silver plated copper cables in general, don't ask me, comment your hate down below, but I just think it looks nicer. For one, that's subjective, but objectively it does handle a bit better. It's not as, doesn't hold kinks or have memory as much. It just drapes a bit better. It's a little bit more supple, and I think it looks nicer, like I said. So keep that in mind. You get the upgraded cable. As far as price goes, these are a big hefty $16, which is yeah, very affordable, great value. Because this is such a budget oriented IEM, I'm not going to get super technical in this review. This is just a quick rundown of what you can expect with the ZST X, how it compares to the original version, how it compares to some of its peers of recent times. So let's get right into it. First thing I noticed about the ZST X's sound is that it's more balanced than the original one. It is still V-shaped, but the mids are noticeably more forward on this version, so it is more overall balanced. But yeah, it is still V-shaped. You get a boosted bass and a lifted treble. The mid-range is slightly recessed, but yeah, definitely a step up from the previous version. And let's break it down a little bit now. Talking about the bass first of all, these have got a pretty punchy bass. They have a sort of a similar bass to the old KB Ear KS2 here. Not quite as well defined, not quite as textured as the KS2. To compare that with the CVJ here, the CVJ is probably got the softest bass of the 3. It is a warmer earphone overall, but thicker, softer bass on that one. But you know, for a $16 IEM, I think the bass on the ZST X is really good. And it's not exactly a bass head IEM, but if you do like a good extra dose of low-end thumpiness and punchiness, this one will do the trick for you. It does get a nice sub-bass rumble going on. It does have a good amount of impact, and it's reasonably fast as well. Now on to the mid-range. As I mentioned, it is more forward than the original version was. It has very good mid-range clarity. Vocals are really nice, both male and female. A little bit grainier than the KS2 here. and not as rich and warm as the CVJ CSA here. The mid-range, but it is warmer and does sound more natural than the original version, which is a recurring theme that'll keep popping up here again and again, because KZ stated that the X series was an upgrade of the previous ones, and I believe they've done it here. They basically took the ZST and made it better, and that's what this is. So finally, moving on to the treble now. The treble is still lively. It does have that KZ liveliness that we've all come to know and love. It is smoother than the original ZST. It can be a little bit sharp still on occasion, but overall I found these fairly non-fatiguing, and I actually listened to these all day long for a couple of days, and it didn't bother me whatsoever. I listened to all kinds of genres, a lot of post-rock, some hip-hop, even some classical. Don't go expecting a super high fidelity experience with the ZST X here. Remember, we are talking about a $16 earphone, so you've got to keep that in mind in the context of this review. But really, I think for what you're paying, I think these are a great earphone. I still do slightly prefer the KS2 here, but this is more expensive, and for my personal taste, I'd probably go with the warmer CVJ as well. But again, that's personal preference, and these are, again, a little bit more expensive if my memory serves me correctly. But, one thing I forgot to mention about the ZST X here is they do have very good detail retrieval, and that kind of surprised me. I was hearing a lot of little details and micro details that some of these other budget models don't pick up. So overall, I think KZ have done a great job here. If you were a fan of the original model, I think you would love these, and I definitely would recommend you to upgrade to these. I think it'll be money well spent. If you can spend a few more dollars, I would suggest going up to the KS2. If you want something that is warmer and a bit more full-bodied, then consider the CVJ CSA here. But overall, KZ ZST X, great earphone, and I recommend it. Alright guys, that is it for this review. There will be a link to the full written review in the description below. Check us out on Discord if you're into that, and Facebook and Instagram. All that info is down below. What do you think about the ZST X? Do you want to get some? Leave a comment down below. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, Parfam audiophile style. And if you're new here and want to see more videos like this in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you later.